I know one of the meta of C8 as a clan overall is to really focus on the maps that they notice other teams struggling on. They notice other teams really not going in and performing all of their best at. So I feel like this might just end up in the way of C8 Legacy, but that's going to be match 3. Let's see if or not they will be able the first 2 games as well. Tyrant Esports opening up very confidently with FBX just taking control of that white warehouse, not allowing anybody to step in just yet. And this is exactly the spot that you want to go in and control if you want to allow your objective players to step onto the hard point easily and conquer those initial points. 15 of those points in the hands of Tyrant Esports, not taking any chances whatsoever. FBX with a crazy 180, and they have got this fully under their control. C8 Legacy, of course, can turn things around at a moment's notice.
They have everything locked down. They're patient. They're taking all the gunfights with such ease and finesse that it's just so difficult for me to think that winning the gunfights is definitely not going to be very easy for C8 Legacy. And now finally, picks and bans are definitely going to be really important for them to pick. Firing range is going to be very hard for them as well. And now, taking a look at what we've seen here so far, 31 and 3, that is going to be very difficult, especially going to the second rotation here in P2. P2 already solid from Tyrant Esports. Not only that, they have a really good defense going outside.
Let's see if or not they will be able to, of course, turn things around, because C8 Legacy now, they have struggled in the first hard point, and that struggle continues on to that second hard point as well. Not a lot of control coming through on that map for that C8 clan, and they have to very first of all break the hold of Tyrant Esports. How do they have to do this? They have to time their attacks well, which they have managed to do, holding back the approach from the command center and finally taking over. Stellar performance out of C8 Legacy. Now they just need to lock down the space. 25 seconds. They cannot lose a single moment in here. But look at Tyrant Esports. They do not go in here for those failures of attempts. Instead of going in to contest for P2, they're already setting up P3. They want this money hill. They want that white warehouse.
The white warehouse, let's see if they can utilize all of the time that they did without contesting P2. So American not contested, but if C8 Legacy wins all the gunfights here, I feel like that would have gone to naught, and that's going to be very tricky. But it's a good thing for them. Susano takes a lot of the points off, and finally they do get a hold, a very solid hold going into the trailer. And now C8 Legacy, all they have to do, pick and just get a lot of the kills. That's what we see here. Freezy gets big kills, flushing out everyone from mid, and now he goes in, infiltrates, but unfortunately for him, doesn't really quite win the gunfight.
And now Justin, Kilo 141, just clearing up the area, but he needs to step on into that hard point. He doesn't have any of that backup on him. It really doesn't matter if you can win your gunfights outside of that hard point. Inside of the hard point is exactly what makes or counts within the game. And as you can see, the sentry setup within that white warehouse itself is going to keep the players of C8 Legacy out of it. Jello brings out his purifies the souls of C8 Legacy, and this is not going to be a hard point where C8 can go ahead to break. And I'm just loving the setup here from Tyrant Esports. I mean, it's the decision making, right? To not go in and fight for P2 because they know exactly how difficult it is to break, and they go in for an early setup of P3, and that investment allowing P2 to be conquered by C8 Legacy for those second half of that time, but to be able to pick off each and every single point out of P3, that was a very, very good investment.
Yes, it was a really clean break, and C8 Legacy just had a hard time pushing in. Even though they did have frags in mid, they just couldn't get that one person off of American. So now, not only that, they have fully streaked out, and now they bring everything out. They have that X1 Goliath, they have the Cluster Strike. Not only that, the Predator Missile as well. And now C8 Legacy cannot touch white. They can't touch the wooden house here, and that's going to be very difficult for them, especially with the streaks and with the Goliath as well.
Yeah, Barracks absolutely conquered. Tyrant Esports, the champions of the youth challenges, coming in here to make a solid name for themselves in the Season 2 of the Garena Masters as well. One final challenge coming through, but that's not going to be enough as Tyrant Esports wraps up a confident 150-33. And that was a stellar performance from the start all the way to the end. And it was the decision making at P2 which really tells me the Tyrant Esports is ready for this competition.
They didn't have to go in for the reset. That's how dominating Tyrant is.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's so difficult to go and pull off. We get to see a lot of the really dominating teams. And for them to pull this off really early into this competition, that really means a lot. They're asserting the dominance. That was a really clean game coming in from Tyrant. I'm so happy to finally see that. And obviously, number one, Tasano having 21 kills. We're already hyping this man up because you already know that he can handle the aggression. And just number two for him, FDX.